Let's practice some of the problems given in as a free response questions from the past papers of AP Calculus AB exams. Question from 2008, free response question from AP Calculus BC exam. You have been given a table and they are asking you that concert tickets went on sale at noon within 9 hours and were sold out within 9 hours, and the number of the people waiting in the line to purchase the tickets at that time is modeled by twice differential equations, the function. And now use a trapezoidal sum of three subintervals to estimate the average number of people. So main key point is that you have to use the trapezoidal sum of Riemann sum. How to use it? They are asking you that with the three subintervals to estimate the average number of people waiting during the first 4 hours. First 4 hours means only we have to calculate from here till here. So from here till here only we have to use the trapezoidal method. And the number of the subintervals they are asking us to use is 3 here. Okay, so first of all, see that what are the three subintervals. Okay, so this is the first one, 0 till 1 is the first one, right? Then the second interval from 1 to 3, and then the last interval from 3 to 4. Why I have asked you to do like that? In order to calculate the width. So it is, you can see that the width among here is unequal. So 1 minus 0, the width is 1. 3 minus 1, the width is 2. And 4 minus 3, the answer is 1. So this is the width. We have it. Now in trapezoidal method, you should remember the formula is half h b1 plus b2, and previously we have explained that h will be considered as the distance from yani x1, it is a constant distance or the width. b1 and b2 will be given you the y value. So y1 plus y2, you can think like that. Okay, so in order to find the area, what we have to do, first of all, we have to write the equation. So what is the equation? Everywhere we have the half, right? But the width is changed. So what is the width? Width is x1, okay? And then you have b1 plus b2. Then you have x2. Then you have b1 plus b2. You have x3. And then b1 plus b2. This is the easiest way to write it. But rather than writing like this, I have to use my calculus skill. That means I can write it as f of x1 plus f of x2, or f of x2 plus f of x3. And here f of x3 plus f of x4. I can use it like that, and it doesn't, if you do not understand this, then no need to write in this way. Okay, just write it this way to understand the model. After that, we will write here half. What is our x1? Our x1 is the first width, that is 1, times b1 plus b2. So b1 plus b2 is what? 20, 120 plus 156. Then plus, what is our x2? The second width is 2. And then we will take the b1 and b2 from this side. That means 156 plus 176. Then our x3 is the last width, that is 1. And our b1 and b2 will be these two. That means 176 plus 126. Calculate it and round off to 2 or to 3 decimals, but you will get 155.25. You are using what? Average number of people waiting in the line. So 155.25 people are waiting in the line. Okay, so this is the average. Now, of course, the average cannot be 155.25. So how many people are waiting? 155 people, approximately one, right here only 155, approximately 155 people waiting in the line. So you write the actual one, but of course the persons cannot be with the decimal sign. So you just write 155 people were waiting in the line. In AP Calculus BC 2011 FRQ, you have been given a table and they are asking you to, as a part of the tea cools, the temperature of the tea is modeled by a differential function which is given over here. I can see from my eyes. For 0 to, when the time is between 0 to 10, where time is measured in the minutes and the temperature is measured in degrees Celsius. Using the correct units, explain the meaning of 1 over 10, 0 to 10, h of t dt in the context of the problem. So remember that whenever they ask you to interpret any problem, always take the wordings from your questions because these are hidden in the question. So what is this function? This is a differential Wheel function, right? So we will not say this one. What is it? It is the temperature of the tea from 0 to 10 minutes, between 0 to 10 minutes. That's all. This is the meaning of this function. Now use a trapezoidal sum with the 4 subintervals, okay, and to estimate this thing. Now if you are doing h of t dt, so of course your units will be degree Celsius, okay, because the temperature you are trying to find out and that would be given in degree Celsius. So these are the units you have to write down. Now what we have to do, remember 4 subintervals, 1, 2, 3, 4. It means you have to calculate the width also. In order to calculate the width, you subtract. 2 minus 0 is 2, 5 minus 2 is 3, 9 minus 5 is 4, and then 10 minus 9 is 1. Now in order to find the area of the trapezoid, we know it is half h, b1 plus b2. And we have studied before that h means x values, okay, and in our system of this question, this x is different for everything. And what are the b1 and b2? For the first scenario, b1 is this, the first number and the second number. Then your b2 will be the second and the third number, means for the second case. For the third case, you will have 52 and 54, B1 and B2. And for the fourth interval, you will take 44 and 43 for your interval. Now let's calculate. Okay, so what we are going to calculate? We are going to calculate the area of the trapezoid, means the temperature using the trapezoidal. So you can write it as h of t, okay, is equals to. What is h of t equals to? It is written 1 over 10. From where I got this 1 over 10? From here. And now I have this formula. So this half for all the cases stay the same. So I will keep the half outside. Now the x1, the x are different in here in each scenarios. And b1 and b2 I already marked, okay, for each cases. So when I take x1 is 2, my b1 plus b2 will be 66 and 60. So 66 plus 60. Now, after that, what is my second x? That is my 3. And my b1 and b2 are here in this case 60 to 52. 60 plus 52. My third value of the x is 4, and then my values which are given here are from 52 to 44. And my last width is, my last x is 1, and my last B1 and B2 are 44 and 43. Now I will calculate, don't forget this 1 over 10 before this one. So when I will calculate, I will get 52.95 degree Celsius. That is how I will calculate my temperature. Now next question is the temperature of the water in the tub at the time is modeled and is strictly increasing and is twice the differentiable function, where Wg is measured in degrees Fahrenheit and T is measured in minutes. Now at T equals to 0, the initial temperature is 55 and the water is heated for 30 minutes, okay? For 30 minutes, beginning at the time T equals to 0, values of Wt is selected between the first 20 minutes, okay? And the table shows the values. Now with the 4 sub-intervals, you have to calculate 1 over 20, 0 to 20 Wt of dt. Does the approximation overestimate or underestimate? This we will see later on, the behavior of the graph. But so far we have to calculate this one. So 1 over 20 we have been given over here, right? Now we have to see whether they are asking us to solve for left Riemann sum, right Riemann sum, or they are asking for the midpoint, or what are they asking. So try to find out that left or right Riemann sum here. So do not miss this thing. For solution of Riemann sum, it's very important. So left Riemann sum, I told you that start from the first point and leave the last point. Calculate the width. 4 minus 0, 4. 9 minus 4, 5. 15 minus 9, 6. And 20 minus 15 is 5. Okay, so left Riemann sum, right? Now we will do what we will write. We will write here W of t we are calculating actually. W of t equals to 1 over 10, 1 over 20, and now write the formula. What are the formula? X1, f of x1 plus x2, f of x2 plus x3, f of x3. Please write the formula by all means, because in AP exams they are looking for the formulas. Okay, so that's it. Now 1 over 20, what is our first width? Here. So that is 4 and the first value is 55. Second width is 5 and the second value of f is 57.1. The third value of the x is 6 and the third value of f we will take 61.8. The last value of x is 5, whereas here we will take 67.9. Calculate it, you will get 1 over 20 times 1215.8, and you calculate all together, even you can calculate here all together, you will get 60.79 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, now here they are not asking me to write the unit. So if they are not asking me and I leave it, then no problem. Now look at the graph. Is the graph decreasing, or what are the key points? That the graph is left Riemann sum. When the left Riemann sum, the graph is continuously increasing. In the left Riemann sum, we know that the graph is increasing. It's always underestimate. Okay, so what you are going to write from here, okay, this approximation, okay, start from here. This approximation is underestimated. It underestimate the average temperature of water over these 20 minutes because write everything from your question, because it is left Riemann sum. You write the whole thing, okay? It is left Riemann sum, uh, which because it is left Riemann sum, and the graph is strictly increasing. Is increasing is strictly. That is how you have to give the reasons. Let's see what they are saying. Hot water is dripping through a coffee maker, filling a large cup with coffee. The amount of the coffee in a cup at time t is between 0 to 6 is given by a differentiable function c, and it is measured in ounces where the time is measured in minutes. Use a midpoint sum with 3 subintervals of equal length. So remember that the scenario in the equal length is different than the scenario for the other things, okay? Indicated by the data in the table to approximate the value of 1 over 6, 0 to 6 c of t dt. Use the correct units. It means you have to mention the units, and units of the C of T are ounces. You can write here, okay? In the context of the problem, you have to interpret and give the meaning of this one is. Okay, so meaning we will give later on. Let's understand this thing. Okay, so what is it? We have to calculate 1 over 6 from 0 till 6 C of T dt. Because it is differentiable twice, what we have to do, we have to use our midpoint formula. Now, with this equal, so let's try to find out the delta x, which is b minus a over n. What is b? B is the last value, okay? And, or you can see from here also, b and 0 is our initial value, and the subintervals are 3, which means that the width for every rectangle is 2. Now what we have to calculate? We need the midpoint. Okay, so look at this one. If you try to understand that you have from 0 and here is 6. So what are the width? 2. So 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. And then 4 plus 2 is 6. So this is how our intervals are. Now 0 to 2. What is the midpoint? The midpoint is 1. 2 till 4. What is the midpoint? It is 3. 4 and 6. The midpoint is 5. So we will take the y values at 1, 3 and 5. But our width is constant, which will be 2. Let's write the formula at least. Okay, so x, f of x1, x2, f of x2, and x3, f of x3. Now just write it down. What is our x2? x2 is our 1. So f of 1 you have to calculate. x2 is 3. You have to calculate f of 3. And x3 is 5. That means you have to calculate f of 5. Now 1. F of 1 is what? 5.3 plus 3. F of 3 is what? 11.2 plus 5, and f of 5 is 13.8. Write it all in the calculator and get the answer. Now what I am forgetting, don't forget this 1 over 6, okay? So just write here 1 over 6, because if we will forget, so the calculation will be wrong and we will not be able to get the full marks. Full credits, for full credits is very important that you write everything. So you will have 1 over 6. If you calculate the inside bracket, you will get 60.6. Write it in the calculator, you will get 10.1, and the C is given in the form of ounces. You will write the ounces completely. Okay. Now what we are calculating actually. Okay. So let's try to read it from here to find out, to interpret this thing. We are we are trying to find out the average amount of coffee in the cup. So what we are trying to find out, the average amount of coffee here, average amount of coffee in the tub at time t 0 t, yani t is less than, greater than 0 and less than 6, in the, that's it, from here till here, that is all. Okay, so what you are trying to find out, it is the amount of the coffee at time t 0 to, in the time interval of 0 to 6. That's all. Only write it down as it is in the answer. So the next question is, Jonah jogs along a straight path from 0 till 40. Jonah's velocity is given by the differential equation, and the velocity is measured in the meters per minute and the time in the minutes. The table is given to show this relationship. Using the correct unit, explain the meaning of this definite integral 0 to 40 v of t dt in the context of the problem, and approximate the value of 0 to 40 v of t dt using the right Riemann sum. Remember, when we write Riemann sum, we have to read the graph from the right to left, and it means that starting from here, this point, you leave the first value. It means from here till here, you will take the y values. Now let's check how many subintervals? 4 subintervals. Now check if the width is same for everything or the width is different for everyone. So 0 to 12, the width is 12. 12 till 20, the width is 8. 24 minus 20, the width is 4. And 40 minus 24 is 16. So the width is this thing. So we have calculated the width. It means unequal width. So for the unequal width, you have to calculate 0 till 40 v of t dt. Write down the formula. What would be the formula? Now here, because it's unequal width, so we cannot write the formula. So what is it? It's the x1, that is 12. And the first value we will, for the right Riemann sum, we will take 200. Then the second width 8, and the second value of y will be 240. The third time will be 4, and the velocity will be negative 220. Negative means it's decreasing. And then the last is 16, and the velocity is 150. Now calculate it using the calculator, and now calculate it using the calculator, you will get 7,600 of meters. Okay, so what is the meaning of this thing? You will say 7,600 is Joanna's velocity. It is Joanna's velocity over, it's the Joanna's velocity when Joanna jogs along a straight path for 0 to 40 minutes. Okay, this is how you have to answer it. Okay. Now next question. Again, the table is given. You have to use the left Riemann sum with 4 subintervals to estimate the total amount of the water removed from the tank during 8 hours. Is this the overestimate or underestimate? Okay. So first of all, what you have to do, how many 4 subintervals? So 1, 2, 3 and 4 subintervals. 1 minus 0 is 0, 3 minus 1 is 2, 6 minus 3 is 3 and 8 minus 6 is 2. So these are the widths. Now left Riemann sum, it means I will start from my left side and leave the last value. So first of all, I have to find out what? I have to find out R of t. R of t, okay? Now what I will write? What is the formula? My formula is x1 f of x1 plus x2 f of x2 plus x3 f of x3 plus x4 f of x4. And I told you that if you can manage to write according to the table, then write it. It means we will write x as the t, right? So it is t1, t2, t3 and t4. This is what we are going to write here. And f of x1 means r of t1. So r of t1, r of t2. So it is a nice thing to write like this. Then r of t3. And it helps you to increase your marks, of course. T4. Now what is T1? The first value 0, then 2, then 3, then 2. So I am replacing only the T values to understand. T2 is 2, then T3 is 3 and then the T4 is 2. Now I will start taking my left values. So first value is 1340. Second value is 1190. Then 950 and then 740. Write it in the calculator and get the answer in liters. Okay, so what is it? It is 8050. Okay, total amount of water removed from the tank, it means 8050 liters per hours. Okay, this is how we found out the total amount. In the end, don't forget to write that the total amount of water removed from the tank from 0 to 8 hours is 8050 liters per hour. Now, is it overestimate or underestimate? So you know the behavior of the graph. So behavior of the graph is that the graph, look at these values, the graph is decreasing. Okay, so what we will say that this is an overestimate. Okay, or you can write the total amount of water removed from the tank gives overestimate. Why? Because it is left Riemann sum and the graph is strictly decreasing. So please write this answer very carefully. Next question. A tank has a height of, next question is, a tank has a height of 20 feet. The area of the horizontal cross section of the tank at height h is given by the function a, where a of h is written in square feet and the a is continuous and decreases. You can see that the values are decreasing strictly. So find out the left Riemann sum and tell us whether the approximation is underestimate or overestimate. So left Riemann sum means that you start from left to right and leave the last value. And how many subintervals are given? 3 subintervals. Now check if the width is same or different for everything. So 0 to 2 is 2, 5 to 2 is 3, and 5 to 10 is 5. So the width are different in your scenarios. So we have to calculate what? We have to calculate A of h, which is x1, f of x1, f of x1 plus x2, f of x2 plus x3, f of x3. Or you can say A of h1, A of h2, A of h3. You can write like this also, okay? So h1, this is h2, this is h3. If you understand, you can do like that. Otherwise, the first one is enough for us. And for this one, this is the y values, right? So A of h1, A of h2, and A of h3. You can write in this way also, same as the first one. Now what is x1? x1 is the first value of x and the first value of A of h, that is 50.3. Second width is 3 and the A of h is 14.4. The third width is 5, whereas the third value is 6.5. Calculate it, and on calculator you will get 176.3. Now what you are trying to find out? You are trying to find out the volume, okay, V of h. So you are trying to find out the volume. So you know the volume should be meter cube, feet cube, okay. So here square feet is the area, so volume will be cubic feet. So feet cube. So this is our cubic feet is our volume. And the now they are asking about whether it is the, so now here is the approximation is overestimated. Why? Or you can say that the volume of the tank is overestimated. Okay, the volume of the tank's approximation is overestimated. Why? Because it is left Riemann sum and the curve is decreasing strictly. Next question. Again, the table is given to you and they are saying that the height of the tree at the time t is given by twice differential function h, where h of t is measured in meters and t is measured and the time is measured in years. Okay, so now use a trapezoidal sum with 4 subintervals indicated by the data in the table to approximate the average height of the tree over the interval from 2 till 10. Okay, now what we are going to do in our case. So first of all, see if the heights are different, or if the widths or the heights are different or they are same in our scenario. So in our scenario, let's try to find out from where till where, from 2 till 10. Okay, so 2 till 3 it's 1, 3 till 5 is 2, 5 till 7 is 2, and 7 to 10 is 3. So these are our x values. Okay, 4 subintervals are given. Now we want b1, b2. Okay, so in the trapezoid we have half h, b1 plus b2 formula, right? Okay, this is our we have to find out, approximate the average height. So we have to find out the height average, right? This is the formula which we are going to use. So we are going to use h of t, and here we can write here average equals to half. Okay, half is same for everything. So now height for the first scenario is 1. Now for b1 and b2 I am leaving right now. Then the next scenario, height is 2. Then the next scenario, the height is again 2, and the next scenario, the x is 3. Now I have to write b1 plus b2. How do I write b1 plus b2? First and second thing. So 1.5 in the first one, 1.5 plus 2. From ever I will leave, I will use my second intervals, yani 2 and 6. And for the third one, from wherever I am stopping, I have to use the second 2. So 6 plus 11. So guess last one will be 11 plus 15. Calculate it and write it in the calculator. So if they ask you to interpret, then you interpret. If they don't ask you, then don't interpret. Okay, so it is, and if they are asking you to write the units, then write the units. Otherwise, no need to write the units. It's the meters. Okay, so average height is in meters. So if they ask only, then you write. Otherwise, no need to write and calculate it yourself. So next question is that you have to solve from, you have to approximate the value from 0 to 2.8 V of PTT, where V of PT is our velocity in meters per hour. Pause the video and use the trapezoidal method in order to solve this question. And how many intervals they are asking us to find out? They are asking us 0 till 0 0.3, 0 0.3 till 1.7, and 1.7 to 2.8. It means 3 sub-intervals. But you can find out that the heights are different in all the scenarios. So first of all, try to find out the height. So in the trapezoidal method, V of P to T, it is half h b1 plus b2, right? Now, first of all, I will use the h. So, I am going to find out the approximate velocity, average velocity I am going to find out. Okay, they are not asking me average, so just V of PT. Okay, so now what I have to do, half I will write. And first of all, I will write my heights. My width, I will find it out. Okay, so for the first width, 0.3 minus 0 is 0.3. 1.7 minus 0.3 is 1.4. 2.8 minus 1.7, I will get 1.1. Okay, so now I am going to write it here. Okay, so first one 0 0.3, B1 and B2 I will find out later on. 1.4, B1 plus B2, and 1.5, 1.1, B1 plus B2. Now I have to write down my two values. Okay, 0 plus 55, B1 and B2. Then 55 till 55 plus and minus. 29 plus minus is minus, and then negative 29 plus 55. Calculate it, put it in the calculator, and you will get 40.7